I think being in the library media profession is the best job ever. And I always tell interns and those who are contemplating it, you have to have that special library gene. You have to have that love for people, that love and that energy to get out there and work every day, to have new experiences, and to help others have positive experiences that change their lives.
I think it is a rewarding career. And I say this because I never thought that I would be able to have the impact. I mean, I was never aware of the impact of the work that I do with young children. For instance, we have a sleepy story time that we do every Thursday, and children come with their pajamas and they sit down with their little teddies, and we read about 6 to 7 stories, out of which 3 are the same stories we read week in and week out. And it is so refreshing and rewarding to see those little 4-year-olds recite the story with you. And for the 2-year-old that doesn't know how to read, for them to be able to say, chicka chicka boom boom. And they know, because even though they don't know how to read, they can associate what they see with what they know, and they make that connection. So I think that is what I live for. That is what makes me want to go to work every day. And even though it is challenging work, I like to see that I like to when I get that aha moment in which a child could just see a book cover and they realize, oh, that is Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, or It's Time for Bed by Mem Fox, or it is one of their favorites, and they ask for their favorite books by name. That is rewarding. It tells me that my work is good.
Every day you have a tremendous amount of responsibility, because you might be the only person that person ever meets who's a librarian. But you have the power to change somebody's life, because you can teach them about the computer and what the internet will bring to them. You can hand them a book, and that, for many, that transports them into a new world. And sometimes the world is a fantasy world to escape where they are, and sometimes the world is the world of education and where they think they can go. In my job now, I feel like working with literacy, I have a tremendous responsibility to help, especially the children and the families in the state, to be able to raise their literacy levels so they can have a good life, and libraries provide a good quality of life.
What I do, in one word, is what I think every librarian does, and that is service. If there's anything that I want out of technology people in libraries, is that I want librarians who understand service. Because technology has 2 functions. It has infrastructure and it has service. And when you bring non-librarians into technology, they understand infrastructure, but they often don't understand service.
I chose this as my career. This was what I wanted to do since I was a little girl. But again, these are changing times, and in difficult economic times, it's good to diversify. So if this is something that you're thinking about as a second career, go for it. Because you don't think about librarianship as sitting down at the front desk knitting. That is not the image that we want for you to have. Librarians are innovative, and we are there where the information is. We're information brokers.
It's a fantastic profession to go into. You have to make sure you really love it. You have to be passionate. Don't be halfway. If you're halfway about it, you're going to, you're not going to be an asset to the profession. You have to want to serve people, and you have to be patient, and you have to love the hunt. Well, I think people think librarians just sit behind a desk all day and get to read, and that is not how it works. I mean, you do have to love people, and you have to love the hunt for information. You have to kind of live on that and be passionate about it.
As I look back on the years that I matriculated through the program at Davis, there were just so many great experiences. I think one of the ones that I value the most is the opportunity that I had to meet so many different people from different places, both from our state and other states, to hear about the work that they did, to learn their backgrounds, and then to be able to work with them on projects and assignments. That's something that always stuck with me. Those connections and those networking opportunities, that was of great value to me.
As I was looking for graduate programs, I was looking at several different schools, and everywhere I went, it seemed there was still that huge school mentality. You know, there wasn't really a family atmosphere anywhere. But when I came to visit Davis College, it seemed like it was the perfect combination because Davis College is so small, everyone knows each other, very much a warm family environment. But it's within this larger university, so you have all these amazing resources within the School of Mass Communications, and then in the larger university. One of the things I really love about Davis College and remember about it is just the caring on the part of the staff. You're held accountable, and they're really serious about making sure that everyone who graduates is going to be good for the profession. They don't let anybody slide. They're not going to let anybody out of there that is not going to be good for the profession. I think it's a pride thing, which I think is great. They consider themselves gatekeepers, but I think that's good. They should be gatekeepers. We don't want half-hearted librarians out there. But I think they also combine it with a really a warm sense of community.
I'm so glad I made the decision to actually move to Columbia and actually go to class here in person. Now I know everyone cannot do that, and I know the distance program that the school has is fantastic, but if you do have I really encourage anyone who can move to Columbia to do it, because I made some lifelong friends there. I had a very close-knit group that I was friends with, and I still am friends with. I keep in touch with them. I really value all my friendships I made in library school, because all of us are very, very different paths. I mean, there's only a few in public libraries, some doing web management. So, I mean, it's just everybody's doing so many different things, and that's what's so exciting, is that it's such a diverse group, but you all have a common bond by going to the same school. Actually, when I started, the main reason, and this was early, in 2000, when I really wanted to do web design, technology. That's what I was very interested in. You learn so many different things you can do with the degree. Yeah. I think I was trying to think of other examples working for the FBI was one thing I actually considered, believe it or not.
You can be the librarian for People magazine.
That's right.
For the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. I've seen some really creative library jobs come across the listservs.
We're in a fight for the future of libraries right now. We're not just in a fight for the funding of them, which is true in our current climate, but we're fighting for the heart of them. A lot of people don't understand why we need libraries. I hear people say, we don't need libraries because we have the internet. And I reply, we need libraries because of the internet.
I would tell prospective students, and even students that have been already accepted into this program, to give it a try, because libraries have changed. We're not shushing anymore. We're not about cardigans and buns. We are librarians of this time, and technology is the vehicle for us to deliver our services. So if you have an interest in digitation, if you have an interest in law and medicine, do not fear the profession, because there are plenty medical librarians, there are Army librarians, there are legal librarians, and I personally know one librarian that works for Discovery Channel. If you are not sure if this is a career path for you, just give it a try. Take a class, or just visit your library and see who's there. You may be surprised that your librarian knows how to operate a Kindle. You may be surprised that the latest James Patterson is available in playaway format. And you may be surprised if you go and volunteer to tell a story that you may be the next storyteller in your state.
If I had to reflect on one word that describes the work that I have the great pleasure of doing every day, it would be empowering. Because I think through the services, the programs, the resources, the staff that I work with, that is what we're doing. We're empowering our students to be the best that they can be. We are empowering our teachers to really perfect their craft. We are empowering our community to be strong partners with us and for us, and making our community a better place.